Welcome to this latest video. Today we are on the island of Barra, which is in the Outer Hebrides off the west coast of Scotland. We're going to start up and take off the Havilland Canada Twin Otter. Barra Airport is the only airport in the world that uses a tidal beach as its runway. This Twin Otter that we're going to be flying today is in the livery of G-Hile. Hile of course standing for Highlands and Islands Airports Limited. This particular livery can be downloaded from flightsim.to and has been made available by Droya. We're starting here cold and dark in front of the Barra Airport terminal. And here we have a lovely view of the beach as we close the door ready for our startup. The first thing that we need to do is remove this locking mechanism, and if we click down here that'll stow it. We'll also click here to get rid of the control column so we can see the instruments a bit better. We'll go around and make sure that all our switches are in the correct position before we start. All the levers must be fully aft or in idle. Again, we'll check all the switches up on the upper panel and a quick check that the flaps are at 0. Let's start by making sure that the power source is on battery. Now we can switch on the electrics and we'll see that everything's firing up into light. We can switch on the transponder and we can see that everything else is going through its kind of power cycles. Okay, so let's move back up to the upper panel and we'll switch the nav lights on, and we'll also put the no smoking and seat belt signs on. We'll run some tests, starting with the caution lights. And our emergency lighting. Quick look back and we can see that they're all on. And let's switch that back off again. Back down to the centre panel, we'll do the fire detection test. Then the fuel quantity indicator test. We can see the needles dropping back down to 0, and then when we release they should go back up again. We've got a fuel boost pump and forward fuel boost pump, and then the flight data recorder test. So now we're ready to start the engines. Before we do that, we'll head back up to the upper panel. And now we'll put on our beacon lights just so that people can have a visual reference that the engines are about to start. So let's start by getting the fuel boost pumps on. Now up to this panel here, we'll start the right engine, and we'll quickly look down here, wait till this gets up to 12, and now we'll get the fuel introduced, and we'll just now monitor the rest of the instruments. Looking good, so now we can go up and we'll repeat this for the left engine. We'll watch this rise. Then introduce the fuel. We'll move the props forward a bit. And again, just checking the instrument cluster. Let's increase this to 70. And now we can switch on the generators. And we'll put the pitot heat on and the air bleed. Okay, let's have a look. Let's get the flaps up a notch. And we will bring the throttle back down to idle. Auto feather is now armed. And we'll switch on the flight data recorder. Okay, let's get our taxi lights out, ready for moving to the edge of the beach. Get our props full forward, and now we're ready to move. Now we are parked on a very steep slope here at Barra, so when we release the brakes we are going to move forward even without power. But as we turn around we're now going to get back up that sandbag. So let's give it a little bit of throttle to get over that ridge and wind up. So let's get stopped here for a bit. Parking brake applied again. Let's stick our landing lights on. Get rid of the taxi light. Increase our altitude on the panel. Start to introduce some power. And off we go. We'll get up to about 80. We're at 80, we'll rotate, and off we go. We'll climb out to about 1,000 feet before bringing our flaps back up. And now we can just sit back and enjoy the rest of the scenic departure from Barra. Let's enjoy the view out over the islands. Let's get our flaps up. And now we'll just continue to climb on this heading. If you've enjoyed this video, I'd be very grateful if you would like it and maybe even consider subscribing. Let's watch this take off now from another couple of angles. This lovely low beach view, and then this high scenic shot. Finally, let's watch this takeoff again from a passenger point of view. From this shot we'll get some great views of some of the islands.